another lit video. Back in the confessional, and yes, we staying lit. Everybody, everybody. Hey man, pull up, man. Show me some love, man. Hit that like button as you come in. We're gonna get straight to the point. We got a double header tonight, so I hope you got your popcorn ready, cause we got a double header. We're gonna be live all night long. You know what I'm saying? We got to catch up because my Oklahoma City Thunder lost, and I was kind of under the weather. We went to the zoo yesterday, and I can tell you, old people and the zoo heat don't mix. Okay, so don't try to be out there being all super dad when you know damn well it's too hot to be out here in this. We went to the zoo yesterday. All right, so thank you everybody for pulling up. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to Melissa. We might turn up. Oh, tonight we're gonna turn up and we're gonna do a live call in tonight. So if you're here for the second live, please be available to call in because we're gonna get it lit, man. Shout out to Brian the Ghost Drifter, man. He been lit up in this thing. Shout out to Joker TV. She's our urban ghetto queen. My sister has about eight stylish wigs that she likes to switch out through the day. She be like, right now I'm Tasha, next time I'm Ebony. Okay, look at that. I'm just playing. I ain't got no damn sense. Anyway, shout out to my mods though, because they are wonderful. You know what I'm saying? I love them. And hey, please keep the cussing at a minimum in the chat. You can write anything other than the cuss word. So you can like misspell it, spell it backwards, use an emoji, you know, whatever. But yeah, just show some love, man. Okay, and let's keep it peaceful and keep it lit. All right, let's get into this video, man. I'm not finna hold y'all.
Okay. Okay, y'all. So this video is long overdue. So I didn't put no lashes on because I know I'm gonna cry, but I finally got to a point where I'm ready to open up about my situation and I can like get through it a little bit without crying, but I'm probably gonna cry because I'm a crybaby. So this is a story time on how I went to jail fighting an aggravated murder charge, murder A, murder B, felonious assault. It's just a lot. So April 12th of 2023, it was literally just like a regular day for me. I was off work that day. I was at home, sleep. My mom came home, and this was right after I lived in an apartment and it had flooded and I lost like everything. So me and my daughter had to move back with my mom. So we were living at my mom's house, and my mom came home one day and she was on the phone. She was talking like real loud, and obviously it woke me up. And she was on the phone with my grandmother, and my grandmother was telling her what was going on with her apartment building. The property manager was like bothering her. She had like followed her out the apartment, and she wanted to go down. My grandmother was on CMHA. She wanted my mom to take her down to CMHA to discuss the matters and probably try and find like somewhere else to live. I'm not sure. So y'all, that weekend I was supposed to go to Miami. Like I was planning to go to Miami. So my day, I had a small leak in my tire. So my day was like full of things that I needed to do. I needed to go shopping. I needed to go get my tire fixed. I needed an oil change. Like I just needed a lot. So it was a lot that I had to do that day. So my mom was like, do you want to ride with me? Like, no, actually my mom's car was blocked in or something. I don't know what was wrong with her car. But she asked to take my car. And I was like, okay. I said, well, you know what? We could just kill two birds with one stone. And I can go get my tire fixed, go shopping. We take grandma to where she needs to go. Boom. All in one. So we get down to the apartment. Mind y'all, before I pulled out the driveway, my stomach was like in shambles. Like my stomach was hurting so bad. Like I just got this weird feeling in my stomach. So we got down to my grandmother's apartment. So the apartment building that she lived in is glass doors. It's two sets, the double doors. And they both glass doors. So my grandmother, when we pulled up, my grandmother was standing outside walking her dog, and it was a lady standing in the door, and I could see her because the doors are glass doors. And then she saw my grandmother come to my car and start talking to us, and then she went and she okay, y'all, so this video is long overdue. Like two regular people, we walked aside, we went inside the leasing office, the property manager, and then the lady that was standing at the door was standing up against the wall behind the desk, behind the property manager. The property manager was sitting in her desk. So the desk is right here. I'm standing behind the desk by the door. My mom is standing at the desk. So my mom, she walked in and she was like, she Diana Hendon mom, and she trying to figure out what's going on. The property manager jumps up out her chair and she started yelling, you can get the fuck out of my office, and why the fuck are you here, just going off. So y'all, mind y'all, I know my mom, so I'm just in my phone, I'm like, it's not gonna be no big, no big fight, no nothing. So I'm like, okay. So I'm in my phone still. I then look up and I see my mom and the property manager, they're like chest to chest, like they're close. So in my head I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is getting serious. So I put my phone down. Like, it was the instant reaction because my phone was in my hand. I put my phone down and I set it down on the desk, like right by the door where I was standing at. And then I went around the desk. I went to get my mom. I jumped in the middle of them. Mind y'all, the lady that was standing at the door that was watching us is still standing up against the wall. So I get in between them and I'm trying to push my mom back, like push her back so we can just go out. So in the midst of me pushing her back, I remember my fucking phone. So I had to turn around and get my phone, but as I'm trying to push my mom back, it was a man in the office. It was two men in the office, actually. He jumps in front of me and he's like bagging my mom out the office. So I turned to get my phone. So when I turned to get my phone, the lady that was standing up against the wall jumps in my face. So I tried to like go around her to get my phone and she pushed me. So me being me, I'm not gonna disrespect no elders. I was just like, why you push me? And she pushed me again when I tried to step around her again to grab my phone. Literally all I had to do, and I said, I'm trying to get my phone, just trying to get my phone. Literally all I had to do was just literally go around her, step, grab my phone, and I could be out. She pushed me again, and then she had this hand in her pocket, this hand she pushed me, then took this hand out. All I know is I'm being punched, or at least I thought I was being punched. I wasn't being punched, I was actually being stabbed. So my reaction is to fight back. Mind y'all, I didn't know I was being stabbed. I'm thinking I'm being punched, so my reaction is to fight back. So I'm trying to fight. I'm hitting, I'm thinking we both throwing punches. And in reality, like two regular people, we walked aside, we went inside the leasing office. So I'm going to try to respond to all the comments. So I found out she passed away literally a day after. So my reaction is to fight back. Mind y'all, I didn't know I was being stabbed. I'm thinking I'm being punched, so my reaction is to fight back. So I'm trying to fight. I'm hitting, I'm hitting. I'm thinking we both throwing punches. And in reality, no, I'm not. So I just started screaming because, like, I just saw blood. Now, if anybody that know, me and blood don't get along. Like, any sight of blood, I freak out. So it's just so much blood. It's so much blood. It's blood everywhere. And I just started screaming because now my face hurt. Like, my face is burning. It's tingling. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? I still don't know that I was stabbed at this point. So I'm screaming. My head is down because I'm trying to hold my face. My head is down. And she got my hair. Mind you, I had a side part in my head. And she had my hair. She ripped all my hair out on this side, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. She ripped all my hair out on this side. And then my mom came back in. Like, my mom was like pushing through the door. Mind y'all, the man that was standing there, one man, he was standing there, he was not doing nothing, he was just standing there watching. The property manager, she just yelling, talking, telling the girl, get that bitch, all kind of shit. And then the man was standing at the door trying to block my mom from coming back in. So my mom finally like bum rushed through him, and my mom, I don't know what happened. It's going on over my head. All I hear is feeling some pulling and tugging on my head, and she stabbed my mom going up her head because she was trying to stab me in the top of my head. She stabbed my mom in her hand. So I'm like yanking, trying to get her to let go of my hair, and I fell back. When I fell back, she's still trying to like push through everybody to get to me with the knife in her hand. So at this point, this is where I see the knife. She's still trying to get to me with the knife in her hand. So instant reaction, Zabria, you're licensed. Get your weapon. Defend yourself. I grabbed my gun and I let off a shot. Mind y'all, I've never been in a situation like this before where I've had to use my weapon. Or I don't be in situations like this where I have to use my weapon. Like, it's literally just for safety and security. So I grabbed my weapon and I let off a shot. When I let off that shot, my mom ran to me and she pushed me out the door. So I honestly don't know where that shot went, what happened. She just pushed me out the door, and I'm leaking blood. Blood is everywhere. Like, I'm leaking blood really, 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 really bad. And we run into the car. My car was parked out in the front, and my grandma was out there. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry, but my grandma was out there with the kids. I get in the car. My daughter is like, she's sitting on the seat right here, and she's staring at me, and she like, "Mommy, blood." And I'm just like, "Get in your seat, babe. Get in your seat." And my mom ran around to the driver's seat. She got in the car, and she just so my so we get to the hospital. And as soon as my mom pulled up to emergency, I run inside the hospital. The whole ride there, my mom, she flying through red lights. She flying through traffic. Like, I don't even know how we got there so fast, to be honest with y'all. But we get to the hospital, and I run in there, and I fall to the ground. And I'm just holding my face because it's burning now. Like, everything is burning. It's throbbing. Like, it hurts so bad. Like, I want to scream to the top of my lungs. So I get inside the hospital. So, of course, immediately the nurses, they come rushing over to me. And it was a nurse who had grabbed my face. And he like just grabbed my face. He was like, "She needs surgery. She needs surgery. ASAP. She needs surgery." So mind y'all, I don't know what my face looked like because I was trying to hold my face the whole time in the car because my daughter in the back seat, she already panicking, and I'm really not trying to scare her. So I'm trying to hold my face the whole time. So when he like, "She needs surgery," so I never got to see my face. They took me back out to the lobby. Once I got to the lobby, they put me in a wheelchair. I'm sitting in a wheelchair. Mind y'all, my mom, my daughter, and my little brother, they still out in the car. So they took me, a nurse came out and got me from the lobby, and then she took me to the back, and she put me in this room. So it's like a little waiting area. I don't know if everybody been inside the University Hospital main campus, but off of the lobby area, they got like a little sitting room or whatever. So they put me in this room. So I'm sitting there thinking I'm waiting for a doctor or somebody to come get me, or they just trying to get me out the area because I'm out there like literally panicking because my face, like, it hurts, like I need help. So come to find out, they put me in this room, they locked the doors. So I'm trying to open the door because I'm trying to go to the bathroom, get a paper towel, get something to clean myself up, and I can't get out. So I'm pulling on the door, I'm knocking on the door, I'm like, "Somebody help me, help, I need help." So a security officer opened the door. This is one of university security. He opened the door and he was like, "What's going on?" And I said, "I need help." I'm like, "Why am I locked in this room?" And next thing I know, the other door to the lobby opens, and they're putting my mom, my daughter, and my brother, they're putting us in a room. They put them in a room with me. So it was a police officer, a Cleveland police officer, standing at the. So we get to the hospital, daughter and my brother, they're putting us in a room. They put them in a room with me. So it was a police officer, a Cleveland police officer, standing at the other door, and then it was university security standing at that door talking to me. So he closed that door, and then the police officer is standing there. So I was like, why are we locked in here? Mind y'all, again, I did not know nobody got shot. I didn't know nobody was hurt outside of me. So he like, are you Zabria Hendon? I'm like, yes. She stabbed my left hand, so she stabbed this hand, so this hand is bleeding. He told me to sit in a wheelchair, and he handcuffed my right arm to a wheelchair. So he handcuffed me to the chair. I'm sitting there. They gave me a paper towel for my stab wounds. So I'm holding the paper towel to the wound. So the paper towel, it done got soaked with blood. So now it's stuck to my face and it's peeling. Like my lip, this was ripped open. This bottom part was cut from all the way inside here down. Like that split open. My cheek was split open. My hand split open. But they gave me that paper towel and it just dried up with blood on it. So then finally, no, actually, my mom kept trying to call my dad, and the police officer that was standing there, he kept taking her phone from her. Mind you, nobody ever read us our rights. Like, we still didn't know what was going on. We just knew that we was locked in this room, and they asked who I was. So in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I did just shoot my gun. Again, I've never been in a situation like this. So in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I did just shoot my gun. So maybe that's what it is. I didn't know nobody got hit with the bullet. I don't know nothing. Like, nothing. So they still never told me nothing. My mom was trying to call my dad. The police officer kept taking my mom's phone out her hand. So my mom like, am I under arrest? He was like, no. She said, so why are you taking my phone? She tried to pick up her phone again, call my dad, and he took her phone from her. So my daughter had her iPad, and she tried to call my dad off her iPad, and he took the iPad from her. So now my mom getting irritated. So at that moment, she was about to get irritated. The doctor came and opened the door, and he took me into surgery. So I had to get reconstructive surgery done on my face. That's how bad she stabbed me. She stabbed me down to my muscle. Whew, sorry, y'all. She stabbed me down to the muscle in my cheek. She stabbed me down to the muscle in my lip, my top lip, my bottom lip, and she stabbed me down to the muscle in my hand. And she stabbed me on my shoulder, like my shoulder. So they stitched up my hand first, and then I had about maybe 10 to 15 stitches in my hand, and then the daughter and my brother, they're putting in the 15 stitches in my hand, and then they stitched up my lip. They did my lip first, my top lip, then they did the bottom lip. But it was reconstructive surgery. But honestly, the doctor that was doing it, she took her time. She was talking me through it. Again, I was just so confused. So my daughter was with me. She was in the room with me. The police that came in there, they kept asking her like, did she want to go? Did she want to go to the lobby? My daughter, she was like, no, like she didn't want to leave. So then she ended up having to use the bathroom. So I don't know where my mom was at. I didn't know where nobody was at. And the police officer took my daughter out the room. After they took her out the room, I didn't see her ever again. I never saw my daughter after that. So I'm going crazy. Like, I'm panicking because I'm like, where's my daughter at? So after surgery, I was in surgery for about 5-6 hours. After surgery, the detectives came in. The lady came in and do my handprints, take my clothes, check for gunpowder and stuff like that. And then next thing I know, they put me in the back of a police car and they took me down to the county, and I was in jail. And from jail, I was in jail from April 12th of 2023 to January 23rd, I believe is when I got out, of 2024. I was in jail for 10 months. 9.5 months, 10 months. Fighting an aggravated murder charge. And I'll show y'all my indictment papers. So I think I still got them. I might have thrown them away because I didn't want to see it no more, but I'll show y'all my indictment papers. But yeah, so I'm just sharing my story. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of questions. I'm ready to answer them. Like I said, I'm at a place now where I feel like I can't answer questions. I can't open up about my situation. I can't talk about this. I'm ready for the interviews. I'm ready for the questions. Again, I'm like I said, I'm at a place where I can talk about it without crying. I might cry a little bit. I'm probably gonna cry when I get off of here, just because like it's still a situation that happened that shouldn't have happened. Like I went to jail for fighting for my life. Like I knew nothing about it, and a lot of stuff came out in trial. So that's another video I'm gonna give y'all. Um, Everything when I fought my case. I took it to trial. My attorneys kept telling me, you got a self-defense case. It's a strong self-defense case. We taking it to trial. We not taking no plea deal. I never was even offered a plea deal. The judge that I had, he didn't want to lower my bond. It was just straight, you're going to prison. I'm gonna show y'all what they did to my car. Mind y'all, I had a brand new car. I had just got that car and the 15 stitches in my hand.
Got a cute face.
Boy, that right there was a lot. I thought she was gonna get off on self defense, but let's hear what happened.
So, I found out she passed away literally a day after me being in jail. Um, I called my boyfriend at the time and I had told, like, I was on the phone with him, like, but he could barely understand me because my mouth was stitched up, it was swollen, like, I could barely talk. But he told me, they saying somebody died. And I was like, they saying somebody died? Like, I was confused because I didn't know nobody, like, I didn't know anybody was hurt besides me. I didn't even know my mom was hurt. Um, so he was like, they saying somebody died. So then he was like, they had you on the news, you on the Cleveland Remembers page. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I was so confused. I'm like, I was the one attacked. Like, what is going on? Um, and he was like, no, they said somebody died. So then, that's when I found out that they were saying that it was the property manager who died. So I was really confused, and I was really like, the property manager. I'm like, if I remember correctly, this is what I was saying then. I was like, if I remember correctly, the property manager was standing back by the which I know bullets have no name, but I'm like, the property manager was standing back behind the desk up against the wall when the lady was coming after me. Like, I ended up falling into the lobby area out the door, trying to yank away from her. So I'm like, she was standing by, and the property manager was in the back yelling, telling her, like, kill that bitch. Like, and it's on video that she's yelling. Sorry, y'all. It's on video that she's yelling, saying, kill that bitch. So I was just confused. So I ended up finding out that it wasn't the property manager that died. It was the lady that stabbed me. Mind y'all, the lady that stabbed me, I don't know who she is. Never seen her before. Never ran past her before. Nothing. I don't know who she is. But I ended up finding out that it wasn't the property manager that was shot. It was the lady that stabbed me, because when I had got my indictment papers that same day, it said everybody, and it would label the property manager with her name, and then it labeled the lady who stabbed me with her name. So that's how I found out. But by that time, they let the news run with it was the property manager. They let the media run with it was the property manager. And then I believe the property manager did an interview with the news, and she let them run with it was the property manager. So my name was tarnished as if I just walked into this building and I just came in guns blazing and I killed a property manager. So that's when I found out she passed away. Okay, y'all. Not to mention, I don't think I ever said it wasn't just me that went to jail. They took my grandmother to jail. They took my mother to jail. It was no reason for them to take my grandmother to jail. My grandmother was outside at the car with the kids, so she never even went inside. And then they took my mom to jail, and I don't know why they took my mom to jail. They took her to jail, and I didn't even know that she was in jail or got took to jail, because remember, they separated me from everybody at the hospital. So when I got booked into jail and they took me upstairs, I saw my mom sitting in a holding cell, and my grandmother, and I was just confused. I'm like, well, why the fuck? But mind y'all, after I got out the hospital, before they took me to jail, straight out of surgery. I literally still had on a hospital gown and some socks. I didn't even have on no shoes. Straight out of surgery, the police put me in the back of the car and they took me to the homicide unit, and the detectives interviewed me straight out of surgery, doped up on meds. And mind y'all, I've never been in a situation like this before, so I knew nothing about this
That should
until
have been
now.
illegal. That she was
That
high.
they were supposed to interview me while I'm under medication and stuff like that. And they knew because, I mean, I'm stabbed up, I'm stitched up, I'm fresh out of surgery. They even told them that I was coming out of surgery. And my mouth was stitched up. I could barely talk in my mouth. So as I'm trying to talk and tell them, like, technically I'm the victim. So I'm not thinking, again, I've never been through none of this before. So I'm not thinking like, Zabir, you shouldn't be saying nothing to nobody. I'm thinking I'm talking to them for them to help me. No, in reality, the detective said in trial, and I'm gonna give y'all another story time on the trial. The detective said in trial he had his suspect, he knew who shot the gun, and he was not worried about what happened to me. So I don't think I ever said that, but I just want to let y'all know that part too. Also, y'all, last thing. Also, the property manager let everybody believe that I ran in here, I had multiple guns, I ran inside the building, and I just started attacking this lady. Mind y'all, she never once told nobody that I was stabbed first. She never told nobody that I was stabbed first. She never told nobody that she started yelling and arguing with my mom, and she never told nobody that I was hit first. She just let everybody believe that I ran in this building and that this was all over an eviction. And come to find out during trial, y'all, the evictions that her and the lady that stabbed me put on people's doors were fake evictions, and they were putting people out, and people were moving out on these fake evictions. And it was just a lot that came out during trial, y'all, and I cannot wait to give y'all the video for the trial.
Ooh-wee. We gotta get the. It says 61-year-old woman shot dead in the eviction. Let's see what it's saying. Okay. So, 61-year-old woman shot dead in an eviction. A 61-year-old woman was shot in the chest and killed Wednesday during an argument and fight over a possible eviction at the Shaker Hall apartment complex, according to Cleveland police. Police responded to the shooting. Da 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 da. The suspect, 24-year-old granddaughter, began punching the woman. The woman then swung a knife, cutting the 66-year-old suspect and her daughter, and a 47-year-old woman. The granddaughter then started shooting towards the victims and took additional shots at the man while leaving the building. That ain't the same story, but I mean, she got off, so obviously I'm gonna believe the person who got off. But as y'all can see, ooh, they put some butter on this story. Okay? They put some butter on that story. Let's hear this. This is one of the news that came. This is one of the videos. Maybe it's a video. No video. I thought this was a video. Anyway, we'll read this. Da-da-da. Fatally shot, 61-year-old. According to Cleveland police, the woman was found in the property manager's office with a gunshot wound to her chest. She was transported to the hospital in critical condition. Okay. All right. This is a video. This is one.
In a moment, Todd's mom will read her son's internet browsing history.
What?
ExpressVPN
Nobody cares
apps keep
about
your
Todd's mom.
19 News is everywhere at 5 with a family sitting in jail right now. A grandmother, a mother, a granddaughter. They're all charged with murder. Winnie Dorch with the new information she uncovered in this case that has torn apart two families.
This is Lamika Hendon. She used to be a Bedford school bus driver, someone in charge of getting kids to and from school safely, now in jail, charged with murder, and her mother and daughter also accused of being involved. 61-year-old Jametta Cooper was shot in the chest.
I got a cold one on Shaker Boulevard. Female possibly shot.
It was April 12th. A fight turns deadly inside Shaker Hall Apartments. 66-year-old Diane Hendon was upset about being evicted. Cooper and the maintenance man got involved. Police say the granddaughter, Zabria Hendon, punched the 61-year-old, so Cooper, trying to defend herself, pulled out a knife, cutting two of the attackers.
There's one got a stab wound to the hand and one to stab wound to the face.
That's when police say the youngest Hendon, Zabria, shoots at Cooper and the maintenance man.
We got a resident daughter that shot a female. We're getting multiple calls.
Now, 3 generations locked up, all pleading not guilty to murder. The Bedford City School District sending out a statement regarding Lamika's status. It reads in part, "We cannot comment on an ongoing criminal matter, but the district is taking all the appropriate measures, including placing the individual on leave consistent with ODE and board policies. The individual will not be allowed on school property during the pendency of the criminal matter, and the district is weighing all options at this time." In Cleveland, I'm Winnie.
All right, so Granny said, "Let your children keep playing. My granddaughter come bust their head looking ass." But it says a jury found 3 family members accused in the murder of a 61-year-old woman in April of 2023 not guilty on all charges. The trial for Lamika Hendon, Diana Hendon, and Zabria Hendon began Monday, January 8th in front of Cuyahoga County Clerk Court of Common Pleas Judge Richard Bell. Jurors began deliberating Friday, January 19th to reach a verdict on Monday, January 22nd. Cleveland police said Lamika Hendon, 48, and her 66-year-old mom, Diana Hendon, and her 25-year-old daughter, Zabria Hendon, killed Jametta Cooper on April 12, 2023 at an apartment building on 127th block of Shaker Boulevard. Police said the women were arguing about Diana being evicted. After being found guilty, the women were ordered to be released from the county justice center. Yeah! Acquitted of all charges. Okay? Acquitted. That's crazy. Hey, you know, when the truth come out, because if there was video evidence, I'm pretty sure there's a camera in every, and let me tell you, in Cleveland, there's a 90% chance it was in the ghetto. So yes, they do have cameras now, okay? Because I was staying in the hood, and some time ago, back in like 2015, 16, 17, somewhere around there. And I was staying in the hood, but it was the hood because like during the summertime, it was like 4 murders. You know what I'm saying? In them apartment complexes. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. But when you go into the office with the whatever, they had cameras in all 4 corners of the office. So it didn't matter where you went. It was a camera. So yeah, because they was going to get your ass. So yeah, you know, once they had to present those cameras in all angles, I'm pretty sure they said, okay, well, Zabria is not the aggressor. The lady sitting on the wall came at her. From the camera footage, you can hear the property manager saying, "Kill that bee, kill that bee." Okay? So for Zabria to pull out her firearm that she's more than likely legal to carry at this moment, did what any other person would do. Let her ass have it. Only problem is, I don't know if these people are black, white, it don't matter. But if I had to put my finger on it, because the way the police handled this situation, they were like, your black ass going down. They were smoking a cigar. So you was at the apartment complex from 11 to 11:30, right? You and your mom and your grandma went to 11:30, right? She was like, yeah. We was at the apartment complex from 11 to 11:30. Yeah, I believe so. And then he was like, so when you went to visit your grandma at 11:15, and then she said she had an eviction notice. So y'all went to the property manager's office around 12:30, right? Yeah, yeah, I believe 12:30. I think that was the time. You know you fucked up, right? You know this. You know you fucked up. Got him. Anyway, she got off of that. You know you fucked up, right? Shout out to Sabria for coming out this situation on top. Nobody wants to go to jail for murder charges. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. Uh, I ain't gonna tell y'all that. I be tripping. I get on YouTube, get to saying anything. Anyway, you ain't gonna get me today. But man, shout out to my everyday people, man. Yeah, giving fake evictions is wild. Like everything that they were doing was illegal, and I'm telling you, they was messing with marginalized citizens, people that are on income restrictions. You know what I'm saying? Living off of SSI, EBT. You know, the family probably ain't got much of anything to offer to these older people because it looked like it was an older home facility. If we can go back to
A grandmother,
the, the picture,
She
of
used to be a bed
family. Nation she un
Hendon
what is the
jail.
picture of
The Cooper was shot.
Look at a picture of these apartments. This does not look. This looks like a senior living center, like where senior living apartments, where you got to keep your music down. You know what I'm saying? The doors lock at 10. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a key card or like it's 6 or 7. Like these do not look like the place for any young people to live. This is a and for them to be evicting people is crazy. Falsely evicting people, marginalizing a community of people, and I want to suspect. Like I want to find out. Let me see if I could. What was that place called? It was called the Stanley Apartments or something like that. Um, what was them apartments called? Let me see if it's in here. In the apartment building. It was called Shaker Hall Apartments. Let me see. Shaker Hall Apartment Manager. Let me see. It say. Oh shit. That ain't it. Shaker Hall Apartment Manager. Fired. Let me see. I'm gonna see if she fired. I should be looking this up while y'all can see, so y'all can see what I'll be looking up. I'll be just Googling shit. Anyway, um, apartment landlords get evicted. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Shaker Square apartment landlords get evicted from federal courts in nuisance abatement case. Ooh wee. All right. In a photo from February 2023, Ronald James, a tenant of the residence at Shaker Square, shows some of the ongoing problems in the Cleveland apartment building. The landlords are accused of failing to fix leaks, mold, or broken heating system, along with other building code violations. Fleming remanded the case back to Cleveland Municipal Housing Court after ownership tried to transfer jurisdiction to a federal court. All right. This is after. This is after the fight. So, oh man, this stupid ass website. They want me to pay. I ain't paying. I ain't paying your shit. Okay. Um, let's see yours. They got a New York apartment owner.
The best adventures
So yeah, this ongoing situation have been going on with these apartment complex that you know, this is October 2023, so this is after the lady had already been arrested for it. So somebody was after him. Like as stuff started happening, more and more probably came out, and they was probably like, "Oh yeah, we gotta button this story up."
Battle over poor living conditions at 3 Cleveland Shaker Square apartment buildings. The Ohio Supreme Court just ruled the unprecedented lawsuit against the apartment owners filed by the city of Cleveland can move forward in city housing court.
I want to send a message to the bad landlords. Don't mess with Cleveland. This is a new day. We're going to hold you accountable.
Now, if the lawsuit filed by Cleveland prevails, it would allow the city to appoint a receiver and take control of the apartment complex to fix things it says are a safety risk. News 5 investigator Joe Paganakis has been following through on this case for more than a year now. He's with us again tonight in the newsroom. And Joe, this case is really the first of its kind.
Rob, it's really only the second time in Cleveland's history that the city has taken such bold legal action against an out-of-town property owner. And if the city wins in court, it says it will take the same action against multiple landlords who it says aren't making needed repairs and are putting tenants at risk. For the past 2 years, Ron James has called the residents at Shaker Square his home. But now Ron is packing up and moving out.
Just a few things left. Some of the stuff will be thrown away.
Ron is moving out because he says he and other tenants have been dealing with intermittent poor living conditions for more than a year.
I like the place. I'll miss it. But, you know, the building's in such bad shape.
Over the past 18 months, News 5 has covered the numerous issues that have generated code violations at 3 Cleveland apartment buildings owned by Shaker Square Apartments Owner, LLC. Holes in walls, leaky plumbing, water issues, electrical issues, and backed up trash collection problems, chronic elevator issues, and heating problems that had tenants using space heaters and their ovens to keep their units warm in the middle of the winter.
2022, there was some people had 1 month with no heat. I had 2 months with no heat, and there are a few people that didn't have any heat at all for the second year in a row.
It lets the city go after landlords who put their tenants in danger.
And now this new ruling by the Ohio Supreme Court upholding a lawsuit filed by the city of Cleveland against the New York City owners of the apartment buildings. Cleveland Law Director Mark Griffin says the ruling allows Cleveland Housing Court Judge Monet Scott to hear the case, which is calling for the city to be allowed to appoint a receiver to officiate needed repairs at the apartment buildings and take renovation costs out of tenant rent payments or bill the owners.
Because after months of working with the landlords, it still isn't adequate and our tenants are still in danger. So we're going to ask the court to let us take control to have a receiver over the building.
News 5 contacted Shaker Square Apartments Owner, LLC in New York City, and the company responded immediately saying it's been cooperating with the city of Cleveland for several months, making $1.3 million in repairs at its 3 buildings since February. Ownership says it currently has a crew of 17 contractors working on improvements and has hired new management at the complex. So we can't understand why the city is continuing legal action. Meanwhile, Law Director Griffin says Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibbs' administration is sending a strong housing enforcement message.
My message to landlords is take care of your buildings, and if not, we'll take care of it for you.
And Ron James has awarded advice for tenants who are dealing with poor living conditions.
Put your rent in escrow so that the owners can't take that money and spend it on something else.
And apartment ownership went on to tell me they feel they are being bullied by the city of Cleveland. They believe they're being unfairly targeted because the city is trying to use them as an example and hasn't, Rob, given them enough time, they say, to implement complicated repairs.
Yeah, so here we go. It's starting to heat up. When could this finally be heard in housing court?
Rob, Law Director Griffin hopes this case gets started in the coming weeks. However, he says the way the legal system works, he's not expecting a ruling until sometime next year. You know, News 5 will follow through on this landmark case.
Yeah, it's been over a year already. Joe, thank you very much.
So I think what was beginning to happen with this case and such is that this shooting of the property manager, or the person inside the property manager's office which is probably a girlfriend of some sort. Sounds like a bulldog. But anyway, because what kind of woman just randomly packs a knife? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Hit that like button, man. Shout out to my everyday people. We up in this thing. Hit that like button when you come up in here. Hey, but yeah, man, I think everything, this was part of the ongoing issues, and then that they was illegally evicting people and stuff like this, and then the owners of the property didn't even live in Cleveland. Of course, it was from New York, and they were hiring a property management firm to manage the property because that's what a lot of apartments do. And then you know what a lot of apartments do? This is what they do. They will sell the apartments to another property management company. They will sell the apartments to that company, right? And still have ownership of the property. They'll just transfer the management to another property management company and then be like, we're under new management, all this jazz, change the name or whatever, and all this stuff. So the property management could come in and change the name, update some stuff. And so that property management company that was getting sued or about to get sued or just mishandling some stuff, they are no longer liable for what happens to that property. So if they go under new management, now you can say, okay, some things are about to change. And then it's the same cycle over and over. Mind you, when I told you I was living in the apartments where it was the hood, but it was, it was changed under apartments, right? So when I went to go get I paid my first month's rent and my last month's rent. Tell me why they didn't have information on my last month's rent. And then I had all my receipts in a pouch, right? And after I moved out, I was like, all right, I changed this, I changed that. They was like, oh, well, we can't give you the deposit back because this. I went and got my motherfucking blinds back. Because the blinds was messed up, so I bought new blinds. Because the sun was so hot that it melted the blinds. I ain't had nothing to do with that. But the fact that I even lived in the apartment, I said I changed the blinds, I cleaned up. I left it how I got it, right? Got the carpet clean. You know what? They still wasn't giving me my deposit. And I was like, and I paid first and last month's rent. And so they couldn't, so they were supposed to give me, oh, I paid first and last month rent, but I didn't move out when my lease is up. I moved out because I was on month to month, whatever. And they wanted me to sign a new lease, but I was about to get a house anyway, so I wasn't even tripping. I was like, nope, I just need this mug for one more month and I'm out. And so I was like, I already paid my first month's rent. But what I did was when I had started already cleaning up and stuff, because like I had closed on my house, but I still had my apartment. And I had my papers and I threw them hoes away. And I was like, I don't know why I threw them away. I had every receipt from when I paid my apartment. Every one, I threw them away. My stupid ass. I kept them that long and then threw them away. But then that when I went to argue with them about it, they was like, oh, well, we're not the same property managers that when you bought the apartment, when you rented the apartment. So we don't know. We don't have that information that you paying first and last month's rent. But I had to pay first and last month rent because I never had rental property in my name. Like I never rented an apartment. Everything I rented was like houses, and that was from like under the table type shit. You know what I'm saying? Not under the table, but they didn't care who lived there. They just wanted their money. You know what I'm saying? Like that type shit. But that was my first time living in an apartment. The first time that I actually had an apartment in my name. My apartments being my baby mama name. I take over an apartment for somebody and live there for the remainder of their lease, and then I had to go find another place to live. But that was my first apartment at the grown age of like 30. You know what I'm saying? But I had always had houses. I ain't had to worry about no. Most of the time when I moved out of place, I just said, F it. I don't even care about the deposit. It is what it is. You never get it back. But then I realized, I was like, that's my first apartment. I didn't want to leave a bad name. I didn't want. One time I was about to be evicted. Um, I forgot why, but oh yeah, I went hard on the people. Then they was like, oh, I'm sorry, that was the wrong apartment. It should have been this. I was like, how the hell y'all messed that up? Like you got these people, you got people at my door talking about the sheriff's at my door serving me evictions and shit, talking about it was the wrong apartment. Man, y'all ain't never gave me no warning, no nothing. Y'all ain't never. I ain't never met y'all in my life, and that was the downfall of that apartment. Me and that apartment's relationship. So it is what it is, man. Stay out of the apartments, man. That's all I can tell you. Cause they ain't shit, and they property managers suck. Okay, all of them do. So shout out to this woman. Y'all check out Zabria on TikTok and Instagram. And make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We're going live again in a little bit. I'm finna go, I don't know. I'm gonna do something for about 30 minutes to an hour. Get away from y'all. Then I'm gonna come back and we got an update on another shooting case. So